applications.
If you wasn't here, you wasn't here for the Myspace. If you missed it, feel sorry for y'all.
The top 8 was important.
Myspace was lit. Yeah, there was a lot of fights over the top 8. Like, people were in their feelings.
That's a fact.
People were in their feelings over that. I was like, you know what? I'm just hiding my shit. Like, I used to make MySpace pages.
Okay. Yeah.
That was my thing. And you know, I was doing MySpace pages. I was doing regular websites, and it was funny. Like, at this time,
What are you using for that? Like, because there's no Squarespace for websites back then.
So see, you know, being from the Bronx and being from New York City, you're crafty and you're a hustler. So I had this scheme where, let's say you're on an official MySpace page of like a rapper or an artist, right? Case in point, I liked the layout design for Frank Sinatra's MySpace page. I remember this. So I went into like the source code and I basically just ripped the skeleton from it, you know? And then you figure out, like, through Photoshop, you know, they give you like the pixel size of each frame and where it goes. So I would just kind of map it over with Photoshop, replace the images, and then it was basically just jacking layouts. But you still had to have the sense of where to look, you know, to pull it from these pages. And I was charging people $200-300 at the time to do their pages, you know. And it was about that craftiness though, you know, like that hustling part of it, where it's like, yeah, I'm about to just come up off of these pages. And, you know, it was still a lot of work because I was still replacing it with whatever it is I had to do. So there was still a lot of, you know, creativeness and input in it, but I was just skipping a few steps.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think people understand now. I don't think there is since Black Planet and MySpace, I don't think there's been a social media application.
If you wasn't here, you wasn't here for the Myspace. If you missed it, feel sorry for y'all.
The top 8 was important.
MySpace was lit. Yeah, there was a lot of fights over the top 8. Like, people were in their feelings.
That's a fact.
People were in their feelings over that. I was like, you know what? I'm just hiding my shit. Like,
and then I seen on your page, you did a cover for a mixtape for Dom Kennedy.
Yeah. Shouts to my guy, Dope is Dom, man. That's funny. So I know Dom because of Nike Talk. And that was a big, like, sneakerhead forum at the time. I was a huge sneakerhead back in the day. Back then I was going by Revolver's Fresh. And on Nike Talk, they had a section called What Did You Wear Today? And everyone would post like their fit. And again, this is before, like, you know, Instagram, and when that was like, this was like a subculture kind of thing where it was like, yeah, I had these fly kicks on.
This, forums, like
yeah, exactly. Forums. This is forums. Like, no one uses forums anymore, right? But if you had a fly fit, you know, you take a pic, you throw it on, people would jack it. You're like, oh, you know, I like the kicks or whatever. To me, it was boring just doing it that way. So I crafted this idea where I would take some of my favorite movies and I would Photoshop myself into into scenes. So I would take a scene from the beginning of a film, a scene from the middle, and then towards the end. And I would put my own kind of like action dialogue in it. And it was this whole little bit. But that took off on Nike Talk, and it kind of went viral at the time. And a lot of people were taking notice of like my Photoshop skills at that time. So Dom had reached out to me. He was like, yo, like, you know, I fuck with what you're doing. I remember doing his first and like third mixtape covers. So that was like, you know, that was pretty fun to do.
That's crazy. I just seen him at Art Basel. Yeah. He was out there. That's crazy. And when you posted it, you posted it in your story one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, I love this. I loved a couple songs on there.
That was the Best of Bobby.
With the one
with LA Leakers. Yeah.
With the kids?
So that original photo was of John Kennedy Jr. And he's like out there with the crowd. So it was just swapping him and then, you know, matching the tone so that it blended in with the kids. But yeah, that was a fun mixtape cover.
Do you remember what the other cover was?
It was just me like deleting some text that he had on his shirt. Like the first mixtape, it was like very minimal, kind of just touch up work to get some stuff out.
Okay.
Yeah.